Hello, Mr. Badger.
Hey, Caesar.
I heard somewhere from a friend that you can help me make my Bitcoin bigger.
Yeah, put it in me set.
In your set? Huh?
Aw, me den. Put it in me den. I'll take care of it.
Huh? These aren't Bitcoin.
Hello and welcome to Caesar's Snack Sandwich. Today we're on Ethereum taking a look at BADGER DAO. Now, a few weeks ago I did a video right here about Bitcoin on Ethereum. You can take a look at that. It'll give you a basis on what Bitcoin is and how it gets onto Ethereum and what sort of things you can do with it on Ethereum. However, this is a new protocol that's just come out recently that will add to the use cases that are talked about in this video. The video is up here in the right hand corner now if you want to watch that. So let's head over to BADGER DAO's Medium page. There's a few things I would like to discuss. So here we are on the BADGER Medium page. Links are in the description as usual to everything I show you. When I first was introduced to BADGER from a video, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth because of its lack of originality in some senses. Now, I didn't look very closely, and I've since come here and I've read all these articles. Some I kind of skimmed through and some I went in deep. And the one that I found to be the most touching or the most inspiring is the Genesis one down at the bottom here. Now I'm going to skip over to this one, and again, you can find links to the ones I talk about in the description. I'm not going to go through all of the articles, I'll just talk a little bit about some of the things I found within them. Now, over here to the Genesis one, it was published on September 15th. And as you can see, it's a 10-minute read, so it's a bit of a longer one compared to what usually you find on a Medium article. But if you go through this and you read the first little bit here, you will find out that these people who designed this, the founders of this, they know what they're talking about. This is not just some group of guys that have found a protocol like Yearn and said, hey, let's fork this and just change this one little thing and we can get rich. These guys have put in a lot of thought to what they're doing, and they've done it properly, in my opinion. They've done it fair, and it's quite good. So let's go through some of the points that I've highlighted here. So this forms the pillars of the ensures BADGER always remains community first, fair, and transparent. So there's the builders, they're trying to get the community to build things instead of letting the inner circle developers build everything. They want the community to create products, so the community will discuss and vote on things just like other protocols, but here it's from the get-go, right? So they will have a dedicated BADGER's operations team because you do need coders. You need specific people to do specific jobs, so they're going to have that. It says the fairly initial distribution of BADGER tokens for governance. This I will talk about a lot more later, so I'm not going to get into it now. And all the code will be open source as usual, but some protocols, they have things tucked away or hidden where people don't get to see them, where in this case everything's out in the open and completely transparent. Okay, so down here it says BADGER will follow YFI's footsteps with fair liquidity launch. So if you don't know what YFI did, they basically gave all the tokens out and didn't keep any for what's his name, Andre. So let's go through these points here because these are also quite quality points. Okay, so the first one, 0 individual or centralized control of smart contracts upon launch. So what that means is the actual code, when they put it in, there's nobody who can control it. It's completely decentralized, and there will be no way for a single person or a single group of people to change things within that code. Now, some protocols don't have this. Some protocols have developer keys that can make some changes. In the case of, they usually sell it as security or, just in case something bad happens, we need to get in there and fix things. Okay? Second one, fixed supply with a mint function being burned after launch. So the tokens, the BADGER tokens, there's only ever going to be the certain amount, and they've burned the keys to mint more. Okay? All smart contracts and systems audited pre-launch. This is really good. So before they launched anything, everything that they're going to use at launch time was audited before they launched it. So there's no launching and then the audits are coming, No, it's wait for the audits, then launch. This is good too. No surprise launch date, list of assets, staking, blah, blah. So weeks in advance, they talked about everything with the community, and then this date was set upon, and then they produced, and the date has passed, and everything was given out as expected. No investor capital raised, so they didn't take any money from people to do the job. The team is publicly known. This is an important one. There's no anonymity in here. There's no anonymous developers. I will get into them later when we go down further. Now, time lock founder rewards. So the founders do get some rewards. They do get some Badger tokens. The founders, and I guess you could call them developers as well. They get tokens, but they're time locked. And this I don't quite understand, but I'm sure if you get really deep into the weeds and start being a community member, you will understand it better. But I take it as, the community is going to vote on changes or maybe when to unlock these, when the founders can unlock tokens. So there's going to be no dump. This is an interesting one. No seeding of liquidity on exchanges by Badger. So Badger didn't put like $1 million worth of Badger tokens on Uniswap that they could pull out at any time. Now, I have seen some protocols do this, and it's quite bad. It's another way of, bypassing basically this. Time locked, okay, but we'll just pull our liquidity when it goes up in value, right? And the distribution of the Badger tokens, they're not completely finished, but they're coming out in emissions. Any kind of changes or, everything's going to be voted on by the community, okay? So these are some very strong points in my opinion. So let's moving down. Where else did I find? Down. So here are the team. I don't know any of these guys, but their faces are here. You know all these things about their specifics. Of course, you don't know their public address or anything, but I'm sure you could Google them. You could find out more. Like you even know where they've been working and stuff like that. This is good. You know who they are, what they're doing. They're not afraid to put their face out in front, and that's great. In this part here, they talk about the DAO and what it is a DAO, and then how they got this company to help them to make the DAO even better and more effective. And that pretty much covers the Genesis article on Medium. Now, another thing you could look at is this video here. This is an interview done by Gabriel Haynes. You can check his video here. I will put a link to it right here at the top and in the description below. Now, if you watch through this, you can see Gabriel Haynes spends about 34 minutes talking to one of the founders. And you can kind of get a feel of what kind of person they are. You can use a little bit of your judgment, your personal judgment, your character judgment to help you to feel better or worse for this. So swing over to here, Honey Badger airdrop. So this is the thing that made all the news. Everybody who participates in these kinds of things, this is pretty much if you had anything to do with Wrap Bitcoin or Bitcoin on Ethereum and a few of the bigger protocols, if you have anything to do with the governance. So if you're participating in voting in some of these larger protocols, then they gave you airdrop. They airdropped you some badgers. Now, this is obvious why. It's because they want people like me who care about DeFi to come and take a look at what this protocol is and to consider using it. So what is this protocol? What is Badger? For this answer, we'll swing back over to their Genesis Medium article and we'll use their words to define them. Badger is a decentralized autonomous organization with a single purpose: build the products and infrastructure necessary to accelerate Bitcoin as collateral across other blockchains. So for now, in simplest terms, that means bring Bitcoin to Ethereum. So back over to the UI. I'm going to try to get through this as quick as possible because I don't really want to spend a lot of time. So when you first come into here, you'll see the dashboard. And if you come to Hunt, you will know here if whether or not you can claim Badger tokens or not. I have already claimed my Badger tokens and I've put them into my wallet and I've done what I want to do with them. So the dashboard basically shows you what you're doing here and shows that they currently have $100 million worth of locked value, or 5 BTC. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot of money inside here right now. And that's very fast. So this kind of gives me a concern. The sharks will be circling. Perhaps, perhaps not. I'm not sure. Hey guys, quick reminder. DeFi is dangerous. Take a look at these headlines. Harvest loses 24 million. Acropolis loses 2 million. Value DeFi loses 6 million. Pickle Finance loses 20 million. And these weren't even scams. So be careful. Know the risks before you get into things. Take your time. Look around. Ask around. Pay attention. Now, let's get back to it. Okay, So over to sets. Sets are basically their vaults. They don't have a lot because there's not a lot of possibility for BTC on Ethereum right now. So they have the BADGER WBTC Unipool. You can supply liquidity to BADGER and stick your LP token in here, 1,700%. Now, 1,000 you can see as I hover over here, 1,100 is in BADGER tokens, and the other is 574 in actual trading. Okay, so the BADGER tokens are being traded against WBTC right now. The second one here is just simply sticking your BADGER in here, and it's going to give you 300% and another 400%. I'll explain how that works in a second. And then the three here, where you supply liquidity, you supply your WBTC or whatever form of BTC you have to the three separate Curve Finance liquidity pools, and you bring your LP token and you stick it in here. Okay. Now, whenever you stick something in here, it's going to give you a special BADGER token that you can then come over to stake. And you will see it will show up here respective to the one that you use. And then you can stake it in here as well. So as you can see, I have staked in here this many of this LP token. So I'm currently earning my 101% of BADGER, 102% of BADGER, and my 7%. So I'm not exactly sure why they do this double staking thing, but that's what they're doing here. So you have to do it that way. Now, when I claimed my my BADGER here, I immediately swapped them for WBTC because I didn't think I was going to be using this protocol. Then after I looked deeper, I thought about maybe it's not going to hurt me. I'm going to stick my WBTC into this pool, and I'm going to farm this pool here because I found its percentage was pretty good at the time when I decided to do it. So how to get these? Okay, let's go over to Curve Finance and figure out how to get these things. So here we are on Curve Finance. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to come up to this green thing at the top here, and you're going to choose the type of pool that you're planning on interacting with, RenBTC, SBTC, or TBTC. So that's the same as these. Say SBTC, TBCT, RenBTC. So you choose the one. So let's say I chose this one. So when you first land on this, you have to come over here. You see it says buy and sell. You're going to have to go to deposit. Click into deposit. I currently don't have any of these tokens in my wallet, but you could then, it would show up here how much you have, and use maximum amount of coins available. You can click this on and off if you don't want to, if you want to put in a manual number, and you can supply tokens to them. Like I said, I supplied my WBTC to this pool, and I got my LP token, so deposit. Don't do this. Deposit plus stake engaged. Don't do that. Stake this one here. After you deposit this, you will get your Curve token, and you will bring it back here. It's this one here, and you will stake it inside here or here or here, depending on which one you decided to do. Okay, and then after you've done that, like I said, you have to come into stake again, stake it in here. Okay, now the reason why I was kind of turned off on this is because these are pretty much Yearn Finance's strategies, and they've just put them in here. And why would I put them in here when Yearn has better APYs? Because you see the APY of this one here, where is it? It's only 2%. They're only being able to get 2% because they don't have a whole bunch of boost that the Yearn does. Yearn has a very good relationship and a lot of history with Curve Finance, so they have a lot better APYs. But you see, this is a way to get BADGER tokens as well. That's why they're subsidizing this with BADGER tokens. So after some time, I assume that this percentage, this 2.38% here, will catch up a little bit to Yearn, maybe. Now, I don't feel like this is a scam at all. I've taken a look at the people, I've taken a look at their work that they've done. I haven't looked at the codes, but I'm not capable of doing so. But my feeling is that it's not a scam. However, like I said, people could hack it. There could be a flash loan against it. There definitely could be some whale attacks. So I definitely use some caution if you're going to stick in here. I wouldn't put every bit of my Bitcoin in here because of this 100%. And you have to keep in mind that this BADGER token is hot right now. It's pumping right now, but it's going to dump. Like, everything pumps and dumps a little bit and then finds its price discovery. I don't know how big of a dump it will be and how big of a pump it will be, but it most definitely will pump a little bit and then dump somewhat. So who knows how much, right? So this, these BADGER tokens that you're earning here, they're not going to be as good as Bitcoin is forever. But you can sell them as they come out. You can try to pull them out every once in a while by claiming them and get them out. So you go to dashboard and here, claim all rewards. So you could start claiming them and try to sell them, right? Now, like I said, I put $200, but this is the $200 I got from this protocol. So I feel, it's like just put their own money back inside. It doesn't hurt me at all, right? So I feel safe with that. I probably could have stuck this somewhere else, but why not give it a try? Give them a chance, right? They have a good vision. They seem to have good intentions. So I'm willing to put my money here that they've given me for free and have no risk. Of course I had to pay a whole lot in gas fees because there's quite a few transactions. So be prepared to pay a little bit of ETH to go through that. And don't do it with like $23, $40 or something like that worth of BTC. Okay, so that's pretty much covers Badger, based on what I've been able to figure out up until now. Again, use some caution. Don't jump into this like with all your money, and be prepared for some risk in case there is some risk. Okay, thanks for watching and goodbye. So if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much for watching it. If you'd like to support the channel, you can subscribe and like the video and all that kind of stuff. If you want, you can follow me on Twitter at Caesar7. And if you really want to help me, you can purchase one of my NFTs at the Rarible store here. All these links will be in the description below. And finally, if you really want to talk to me, you can join my Telegram channel